right, welcome back. Next up, we have Tiago Goncalves. Born and raised in Brazil, he came to the United States in 2006 and is the current assistant coach of the U.S. Armed Forces Judo Team. Sensei Tiago is a three-time competitor of the CISM World Military Games, so he definitely has a great deal to offer. After his instructional session, Sensei will be joined by Major Justin Wynn of actually Nanka's Saltel Dojo and Staff Sergeant Henry from the U.S. Army to answer any U.S. Army or Armed Forces questions you may have. Okay, take it away, Sensei Tiago.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sensei Lieutenant Tiago Goncalves, assistant coach of the U.S. Armed Forces Judo Team. At first, before we start with the workout, I'd like to talk a little bit about the U.S. Armed Forces Judo program, right? So the U.S. Armed Forces has a program for Judo that's been established since, I believe, 1948. And what that means is the team is selected to participate in national, international, and Olympic level type of events as the international sports councils, the military. It's the CISM. And in the CISM, we have the World Military Games that happens every 4 years. And for example, last year we went to China. We're in China competing for the military games. The U.S. brought 300 athletes from all different sports, and the whole event had about 10,000 athletes from all over the world. All right. Another interesting thing is, if you're a U.S. military member, whether you're stationed in the United States or any other country around the world, and you're a judoka and wants to be part of the team, we have a selection process that it's based on criteria of results and how you place in national tournaments here in the US, and of course in international level tournaments, right? So Major Amber Jones and we're both the coaches. She's the main coach of the team, and we collect those informations from those athletes, and we put on our database. That database, of course, this year with COVID, things got a little hard to deal with it, but the idea is to collect those athletes' information, and then once the tournaments are coming back to normal, we're gonna send emails out and let those athletes know about the tournaments that Major Amber and I would like them to participate. And then based on the athletes' result and how they place into those tournaments, we have like a point criteria, and that's how we make the selection for the national team, right? For the military national team, for those CISM events. So if you have a pen and paper, write down this email. That's how you will send us your information, your name, rank, branch of U.S. military. It's armedforcesjudo@gmail.com. I'll post that later on the chat, and then on the Q&A you guys can ask, and I'll say again, but the armedforcesjudo@gmail.com. All right. So no more further delay on this. As you can see, I have a group of students here. We stagger them in pairs, and they are following the most current protocol for COVID. So they all spread out from each other from over 6 feet. And then the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to show one of my favorite techniques. That's one of the techniques I've used my whole career as a competitor, and I show that a lot to my students. The interesting thing about this technique is it's not only very effective in judo, but for those of you that train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu out there and love to throw, right? It's going to be very, very effective. So again, I'm going to use one of my students here, Sensei David Rivera, please. We're going to start with a few exercises as a warm up, right? So the first thing we're going to do, we understand that, like, let's get a little further down a little bit. We understand that our footwork, right, is very important Very, very important for our techniques to succeed. So the main thing I like to do for this technique, we're gonna do this. You put your partner right in front of you with the feet with like a shoulder width, and he's gonna lift his hands, right? He raises his hands about your shoulder level. It's gonna be your shoulder level, not his, right? So once he puts like that, so with this way, we're gonna work inside of his leg, right? So we're gonna do this. We're gonna start from the right hand, people, right? So you're gonna bring your right leg and you place your foot across, right? Right leg in front of his right leg. As you do that, you gotta keep your hands and your body within. Let me turn you a little bit like that. Within the reach of his arms, right? So once I come here, I'm gonna go inside and rotate. As I rotate, I stay on my toes all the time, all the time. My hands are also inside, as well as my legs. So then you come back. It's a two movement exercise to go in and two movement to go up. So you come here, 1, 2, come back to that same position, right? Again, you say 1, 2, and return. So that was going to be our first exercise we're going to be working on today. So David Rivera is going to go back over that. The students are going to start practicing. As they practice, we're going to start making some comments and some correction as you go. All right, guys, let's go start practice. Come on. So for those of you without a partner, I know a lot of you are at home, right? And don't have somebody to train. But as Sensei New Adam said earlier, you already packed with your bands, right? And your towels. So if you're by yourself at home, right, you can still work on this exercise. All you have to do is you draw a line on the floor, right? Keep your feet parallel, right? And you do that same movement. You just got to imagine that the arms are up there and you cross your right foot in front and you turn and return to that same position. All right? As the students do this, I'm gonna utilize David Rivera one more time to show you guys how I like to work that using the bands, right? You guys keep working. So if you have the bands, right, you place the bands around something. In this case here, David is pretending to be a hook on the wall, like a heavy bag or something, right? All right, just come a little closer to me. Okay, so that's the same idea. You're gonna place those bands a little higher, like that. Again, simulating those arms, right? And then you're gonna do the same movement. I'm gonna move to the right a little bit so you can see my footwork. Come on, right here. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing, right? Again, you just holding the bands. You just move your arms. Don't worry much about your arms now. You use it like your whole body movement. The main thing now is the footwork. You step and you turn. Right? Keep your hands up the whole time. I would say your elbow is making like almost like a 90-degree angle here with the ground. All right? And then again, you step 1, 2, and come back. All right? One thing that I didn't mention, for those of you like me, they're a left-handed athlete, right? So you can also start with the left side, but the idea is also practice on both sides. So you become proficient on those, right? So again, since we did the right side, now we start with the left side. On the left side, we start with the left leg. Left leg across, turn on your toes, right? Up, and return. All right? And that's the way you guys use the bands, right? So while they're practicing, I'll walk around and make a little corrections here and there, and then we'll move on our second technique. All right. So we're going to move on into the second exercise, right? Again, as I mentioned before, the exercises are all preparation for the final throw we're going to do today, right? So the next one is another, we're also going to start from that same position, right? We utilize our partner here. Hold on a second. Let me fix something here on this. Okay. All right. I apologize for the lack of knowledge with technology here. This is one of my few times doing this virtually. All right. So we're gonna still stay with the same type of exercise. The opponent, your uke here, right? Is gonna keep his arms up here, aligned with your shoulders. On the first exercise, all we did was we cross the foot, turn, and we stay inside. So we're gonna keep that same structure, but now I want you guys to squat, right? The squat, it has to be always on your toes, okay? Because every time you place your heels on the mat, you pull in different forces, right? You wanna throw the opponent on that side, and if you go to this side and you put your heels down, your body's pulling into the opposite direction, all right? So you neutralize the most of the momentum of your technique. So the first thing you're gonna do here, so same as before, right? Inside of his arms, inside of his legs, right? So you cross, you do the turn. Once the second foot touches the mat, you're gonna drop it, all right? Notice that we're still not grabbing anything. The whole motion here, the whole movement is on our feet, right? We work on our feet, we work on our squat, we work on our balance, okay? All of this is gonna be, all the pieces are gonna be put together towards the end, and you're all gonna understand that. So again, he has his arms up here. I go inside, my hands up, right foot cross it in front of his right foot. I turn. Once I bring the left foot in, I drop. All right? Notice that I'm still on my heels, right? I'm not turning and bring my feet down. Remember, we talk about the direction of projection to this throw is this way. Okay? So if I want to throw somebody this way, and again, like I said, I bring my heels down, I'm pulling myself that way. So the forces are neutralizing, just like I mentioned before. So one more time. So we go here, inside, cross the foot, turn, and bring the left foot. When the left foot touches the mat, you drop it. All right? Come back up, return to the same position. All right? Just like the other exercise, they all gonna return. They're gonna start practicing, so you all can see how they do in pairs. All right, and I'll keep giving some more details as we move. All right, guys, let's go. Remember the same thing. You just turn inside and drop. Make sure to stay on your toes. Do not touch the heels on the mat. Stay on your toes. Again, just like our first exercise, if you don't have a partner at home or at your dojo, you're doing by yourself, you watch this on your own. So you can also do this the same way we did before. You can draw a line on the floor, right? Keep your feet separate from each other. The idea is to keep at least your shoulder width. You don't want to open too much, right? Because it puts a lot of tension in your back and your leg, but you don't want to close too much either, because then all that pressure goes on your knee and you don't have the power to throw. So shoulder width, right? Right here, again, you put the right foot, you turn, left foot. When the left foot touch the mat, that's when we drop it, right? So you come here, right foot, you turn, left foot, drop it. Come back up, return to that same position, all right? Once more, just like I said about the first one, we can also do this exercise with the bench, right? And I'm gonna use David again. David, please. You all keep practicing. So he's gonna hold the bands once more. Yes, and remember, you lift the bands here as they're the same height as my shoulder. It's simulating like a heavy bag, right? You kind of like look like one, right? Look at that. Look how solid it is. So doing that, if you have a heavy bag, you just gotta make sure the bands are lit all the way to kind of like match a little bit like on your shoulder, right? So we're gonna do the same exercise. Use the heavy bands a little bit, right? And we're gonna turn your right foot, turn your body, bring your left foot, and drop. Back up, and return to the first position. Again, I don't stress enough to remind you, this exercise here is not for your arm only. Even though you keep your arms up, and when you hold the band, there is a rotation with your arm. I'm not concerned about pulling yet, all right? It's just to give you some tension so you can start feeling the movement with the leg and how that affects your squats up and down, all right? All right, let's keep working a little bit more. Thank you, David. We're gonna move to our third step of the preparation for our throws. Drop it. There you go. Remember not to open the leg. Not to open the leg. All right. One thing I tell the students is, once you're working on this exercise, and especially when you have to drop it, you decreasing your level. A lot of people have a tendency to move their feet. So, for example, if I'm here and I do my first step, when I come to the second step, a lot of people like to do the step and adjust with the right foot. That's very wrong, right? You want to minimize the amount of steps you have before you apply your throw, right? So when you apply your throw, you're not only like more accurate where you're going inside, but you have a quick explosion. So it makes it more difficult for the UK or for the opponent to counter that attack, right? So it's very crucial for you to minimize the step. And if you only do 2 steps, you do those 2 steps only, all right? Another key point that I like to bring to the attention of everybody, the direction of the throw. We have a direction of the throw that is going this way, right? So once you're trying to get the uke to follow you on the throw, right? To gain that more power based on your momentum, based on the application, you got to make sure that not only the uke is going off balance, but you also pull yourself a little off balance, right? So you're not worried about falling. You're falling, you create more power with your body going that direction as well as the uke. So that creates a lot more strength on your techniques, and then the results are very significant, right? All right. So we're gonna move into our third step of the throw, and then I'm sure some of you are asking, talking to your friend that's in your dojo or not. So what technique is talking about? You know that there are a lot of techniques that come from this exercise, but the techniques gonna I'll go tell the techniques later on when we get close to it. All right, David, please. All right. So again, one more time, we're gonna use the same ideal technique. He's lifting his arms, shoulder height, right? And this time let's do a little bit like this. All right, right here. First exercise, we'll land, step across, inside. Second exercise, we drop. The third exercise is a combination of the 2 and the roll after that, okay? So we're coming from here, you step forward, turn inside. When the left foot touches the mat, you drop. As you drop, if you put the right foot inside, you're gonna roll over your right hand. So you're doing like a Zempo kaiten, right? So you do boom. Again, arms open. You come from inside here. Right foot, putting the right foot across. You rolling a Zempo kaiten with your right hand. If I'm a left-handed guy or practice the left side, and I step with the left foot forward, my Zempo kaiten is going to be from the left side. So one more time. You step across, turn, second foot touch, you drop, When you reach the end of the drop, you roll. And again, at the end, towards the end of the explanation of the technique, everything is gonna make sense, all right? So one more time. You're gonna rotate inside of the uke, right foot across, turn, stay inside, remember, stay inside, and legs being within the reach of his legs open here, separation is crucial. And you drop on your toes, you don't touch your heels on the mat, remember that. Right hand goes between the legs and you complete your Zempo Kaiten. All right, so David's gonna return. We all gonna stop practice again. Let's go, guys, come on. Like mentioned before, there's also another technique that you work on your own, right? You work on your own time, if you're alone, if you're at home. However, if you're not being practiced your Zempo Kaiten, right, your rolls for a long time, so make sure that you have like a soft area that you can roll over, right? And so you don't get hurt. For us that have been doing this for a long time, when you make a Zempo Kaiten correctly, right? You can do it on a mat, you can do it on the concrete, you can do it anywhere, and it's not gonna make any difference. You're not gonna get hurt. So to explain how to do that on your own, right? Same concept as the other two exercises, right? You can draw a line on the floor, and the reason again to draw a line is just for you to know how separated, how parallel your feet are, right? So you draw a line, right? You step across, you turn, you're gonna drop, and you boom, and you apply your Zempo Kaiten. Okay, don't forget to do it for both sides. I always practice right and left side. All right, okay. Good. Try to roll over the shoulder, guys. Remember, over the shoulder. All right. The way to use this technique with the bands, again, there's no secret, right? Dave, please. So we're gonna use that same concept. You've seen over and over. But again, you become better when you practice, when you repeat, right? So the more you repeat, the more you practice, the better you're gonna become. So, all right. So the same thing, right? Same concept. Our elevator, the arms are elevated. I'm holding the bands here. I cross my foot, right to the right, turn. Bring my left foot here and drop. Now, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm just gonna drop. Just gonna let the bands go. I let the bands go and roll. Boom. And that's pretty much it. So there's not a lot of difference. However, if you're using the bands and you're not doing the proper technique, the proper squat for your technique, what's gonna happen is the bands are gonna pull you back. And if the bands pull you back, you're not gonna be able to do your forward roll, right? So what does that happen? It breaks that momentum in the direction of the throw. That's supposed to be that way, right? So one more time. You go here with your bands, step across, turn, right? Even though we're not doing the arms, we still feel that little tension on it. Bring it, right? Let go of the bands. And complete your roll. Again, if you have bands at home, you can utilize that. All right, we're gonna let them practice a little bit more, give you all some time to practice at home too, right? And then we move on for fourth step. Keep going, keep working, guys. Keep working. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep working. Keep working. All right. We're gonna move on to the next step, right? Once we get into our last step, the actual application of the throw, right? We're gonna go over step by step, and you see how every single piece of that puzzle, right, fits in its place. Okay. The next step we're gonna be doing is this. All right. So now the technique review itself, right? So we are working on our famous Seo Nage, right? So for a lot of you that don't know that, Seo Nage, if you apply it with the right hand, you want the right hand across on the other side of the collar, right? So normal Seo Nage, very famous. You grab on the same side. Okay, so if we turn a little bit like this is the same size. All right, our Seo Nage we go across, right? So our 4 fingers go under, and then we hold. Okay, so the way I like to do it, okay, I don't like to go too low, because if I go too low, I don't have a lot of control of the opponent. You might have control of the gi, but you don't have control of the opponent. So up here, right underneath his neck, that's what I like to put my fingers, right? 4 fingers go in, and then I close it. I close in him. I don't squeeze too hard, because I don't want this to get tired, okay? I want to hold it in a way that I can also able to move it, okay? Every time I come here, the first thing I like to do is just feel the gi, right? Lose the gi a little bit. The other hand, there's a lot of discussions on where you're supposed to hold it, right? The best application for you to practice, you find the elbow, right? You put the back of your thumb right where the bone of the elbow is, right past it, okay? And you find a little seam here on that gi that's gonna be on the other side, right? If you can see here, the little seam on the gi, every gi has that. You go that all the way and grab it from the bottom, right? Your last 3 fingers. Once you grab that and you return your hand to a normal position, it automatically turns his gi and ties his gi around his arm as a way to secure the arm. However, depending on the situation, you might not have time, or you won't be able to get all this material, right? So it's okay for you to get a little closer to the end of the judo gi, okay? So we're gonna start from here. Again, it's still not the full throw yet. We got our hand across and the hand on the elbow, right? So we're gonna put it together, the little feet exercise. So we're gonna come here, our foot across, right? We're gonna turn. As we turn, my elbow is gonna go right under his armpit as I lift, right? The more I lift here, the more lift I have, the more kizushi I have on him, the better my arm, my elbow here adjusts underneath him, so it makes the throw easy, right? So as I move with the foot, I'm coming across with my body, the whole body's turning. So I come over here and I turn. Boom. When I start turning, I'm gonna bring the second foot, right? But at this time, we're not gonna squat, we're not doing anything. All I want you guys to do is do this turn in a standing up position. We're still gonna work on a footwork, all right? And our rotation. You see how we're gonna put every single thing we did before together until we do the throw, right? So again, we open here, make sure the gi is open. You turn, you open. As you open, you turn here. When you do that, I just want this time to bring the hand down. Boom, like that. All right? I'll get close to the camera here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay? So when I come here and I start rotating, you rotate. My elbows digging under his armpit. Go under, and this is lifting. Whenever I complete my turn, I want this arm to bring it down. Boom, right here. Okay, so I like to call this as the seatbelt concept. Like you have your car, right? You have a seatbelt in your car. So here in the United States, we our driving side is on the left side, right? If you are in the UK, like Sensei New Adams, you're going to be driving on the right side. So the concept changes a little bit based on if you're a driver or the passenger. So since we are in US, and I'm working the right hand, I'm going to pretend that I'm sitting on the passenger seat. When you sit on the passenger seat, right? You're sitting right here. Your seatbelt is located on top of your right shoulder. Okay. Most of the time, right, when you go to grab your seatbelt, you come with the hand across and you grab it, right? You grab the seatbelt. If you pull your seatbelt all the way down, what's going to happen is the same application when you step on the brake. It's going to stop it, right? That's what it was made for. I'm not a specialist with seatbelts or cars, but that's what happened to me every single time. So what happened is every time I'm on the passenger seat, I decide to pull forward. So I pull up and forward the seatbelt. With me doing that, what happened is it extends all the material, right? All the whole seatbelt comes all the way forward, and then from after that, all I have to do is just bring it down and clip it. All right. I hope that makes sense to all of you. But I've been using this concept for many years with a lot of my students, and it seems to work very well for I guess with the understanding of that little concept, right? So you grab the seatbelt, pull up. Once you feel like it's loose and you have enough of the seatbelt, you start bringing it down to an elbow, okay? And then for this throw, it's a very well application that you can put into to work based on the concept, right? So imagine his arm is the seatbelt, right? When I'm coming around, I'm grabbing the seatbelt here. If I pull directly here once, it's not gonna come over my shoulder. It's come around it. And you know what happened? If you come around it, all I have to do is step aside, and then the throw is gone. Look, boom. Then I lose my throw. So if I use my seatbelt concept, I step across, I lift, right? Remember, you lift. As I finish turning, I pull forward, and then I bring it down, right? And you see a better application of that on the next exercise. So again, just to show one more time what I want you guys to do now. So from here, right hand across, right under the neck. Left hand right here under the elbow, right? Your right foot comes across, you turn. As you turn, you lift, and my elbow is digging in, right? Under his armpit. Boom. I finish my step, and I bring it down. All right? That's all I need you guys to do now. Again, it's just another step for our Seo Nage throw. Okay? All right. Let's practice. So for this exercise, if you're working at home, right, and if you're not using the rubber bands, right, those exercise bands, it might start becoming a little bit more difficult, but you can still utilize the motion of your arms, right? Again, the same process as before. Right? Let me get my feet in within the camera. We draw a line, right? And you don't want to draw on your floor at home. Please don't do that. Okay? You can get a tape, those little tapes you put on the floor, so you don't have to draw a line and get in trouble at home. So again, we simulate grabbing your opponents, right? Cross grip, right hand here, and left hand under the elbow. We step across, we turn. As we turn, we do that motion, right? We open, open. As we open, we turn our wrist. Look, I'm approaching here. As we open, we turn our wrist. When we turn our wrist, we get more power here on that pull. It's a lot easier for that pull to happen. So when I come and I do the step, pull, my elbows digging in, right? Elbows digging in, and this is still high. I finish a step, bring it in. All right? For now, bring it in. For now, we just bring it here. Look, here. Once we start adding, which is the next step, you start adding our drops, right, or squat, then you can put that in practice. You actually lift, right? And that hand will definitely start coming down a little more. Okay, so we see how the students are doing now. We'll watch them practice a little bit more, and I'll show you a little bit in a little bit with the bands how the exercise can be done. All right, we're going to demonstrate the application. As the students still, they continue practicing with the opponent. Keep working, guys. Keep working. Keep working. Sensei David here and I are going to demonstrate with the bands, right? So same thing. Sensei David is pretending to be a heavy bag, right? So same idea. We keep that little on your shoulder height. We're grabbing, right? So for this concept here with the bands, you could try to cross a little bit, but it's not going to make a lot of difference. And then the idea of the entry is going to be very similar to like a Seo Nage or Seo Nage, right? But you just got to keep in mind the reason why you practicing this, what are you doing this for? So you step up. Remember, you turning, you lift, and you dig the elbow, right? Lift, dig the elbow, and you come. When you're here, just bring it down for now. Boom. This way. Step back a little bit. Now you can utilize what? The resistance from the band. Okay? As you getting a little better or faster or putting more explosion, that's how you dictate how much resistance you want from your band, right? But I recommend if you're a beginner not to try to grab like some thick band that you can barely move, because then you're not able to apply your techniques, right? So again, we'll do one more time. You step up, open. As you turn your body, you open and dig in your elbow. Boom, bring the leg and bring it down. Okay? So one more time. From here up, step, open, dig in, step, bring it down. All right? All right, we're gonna see them practicing for a couple more minutes, and then we'll move on to the next step. Good stuff, guys. Remember to always alternate, right and left, right and left. Cross grip, very good. One thing that is very interesting on the Seo Nage, right, is the cross grip. For us judo athletes, right, in competitions, when we go for cross grip, the rule only allows you to hold it for 3 seconds. So that's a technique that you gotta be you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta be quick. You gotta be thorough. You gotta be very effective on the technique. A lot of times we start from holding the collar on the same side, and when you see an opening, as you open here, open the arm, you do your rotation, you change to the cross grip. That cross grip is a very dominant position, very dominant grip, and that's why you're not allowed to hold it for too long. However, if there is some other techniques that you utilize while you're holding that, the referee they might let you hold that grip for a little longer. And that's one of the things I like to use in a lot of my fights. It's just utilize coach guide, Ochi guide, and any other technique that you can initiate a movement, right, of your opponent, so you can apply the Seo Nage. On the other hand, if we're talking about the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitions, right, or the training, they don't have any restrictions on how long you should hold the cross grip. So I always tell my students that the judo students that go in jiu-jitsu competition, or my Brazilian jiu-jitsu students that I also teach them, to start in a jiu-jitsu competition with the cross grip. You are always very dominant you are always controlling that same side, right? And then if the opponent moves outside of you, he is giving you a throw. If the opponents move inside of you, it gives you opportunities to do all the throws, like Sotogari and things like that. And then hopefully we have some time that I can show something like that. All right, we're gonna move on for the next one. Sensei David, please. Sensei David's getting dressed correctly now. It's taking a little long, but it's okay. We got time. As he gets ready, I just want to say thank you for him to come in here too, and appreciate his help. We've been training together for many years. He's such a good judo partner, as well as a lot of the students here. Right, we couldn't be doing this class without any of them. So right before, like now that the next technique, right? So come over here. So he got his gi all nice and tight on purpose, of course. So I have to lose it up again. So again, right hand, we go directly to a cross grip, right? If it's too tight the gi, you start from the bottom a little bit, like that. Lose up a little bit and slide all the way up, all right? You make your grip on your sleeve side. All right, we're gonna put most of all the things that we did so far until now. So we're gonna do a cross foot, right? Remember to use that seatbelt concept, right? As you turn in here, remember your seatbelt. You open up, and as you start digging in your elbow and finish your rotation of the left foot, you're pulling. Now, what we're gonna do is this: we're just gonna drop, right? If you did your correct placement of the seatbelt, right? If you're on a passenger seat, and again, if you're in the UK, you're the driver, right? You should be pulling forward and then down, right? And as you drop, what happened? I'm not there anymore. Now I'm down, and he's coming over. The chance for him to stop that movement is very small. So again, from right here, you saw. Let's step over here like a little bit. You step across, start opening and digging your elbow, right? Remember the seatbelt you are. As you turn, you pull it, then you're gonna bring it down. As you bring this foot, right? As you bring the foot, boom, and you drop it, boom. You just disappear, right? So what I want you guys to do is this: cross it, turn, and drop it. Keep the hands pulling away from you, over your head. All right? One more time. So you hear your cross grip, hands on the sleeve, right foot across. All right? Start turning, open, dig your elbow in, pull the seatbelt forward, right? And drop. Okay? You probably noticed that we didn't bring the seatbelt in yet. Because if you do that, he falls. We're not there yet. All right? So, Sensei Rivera is going to return, and the student is going to practice that. All right? Let's go. Do the holding and drop. Pull it and drop. Don't bring the arms up, down. Keep the arms up, right? Up. Drop. And back up. So as I mentioned before, every single detail from the first step that we did today, all the way to now, you got to be able to apply it. The first one was just a rotation inside. Second one was the rotation with what? With the drop, right? The third one was the rotation, a drop, and a Zempo Kaiten, a roll, right? Then we finally started working with the grip, right? The collar grip. We went across because it's an Seo Nage, across. The other hand came on the sleeve. Then you apply the first step as the rotation, right? We apply what? the other step was what? The drop. Okay? And in the middle, between both, we did what I like to call the seatbelt concept, right? If you're the passenger, you're pulling all the way out, then you bring it in, right? If you're in the UK, in Europe, you're the driver. You grab the seatbelt, you pull it, and bring it down, right?
I'm not sure if that's right, but what is that? Almost 4. I got 10, about 10 till 4. 17 minutes. Make it 8.
All right. So I'm gonna grab Sensei Rivera here and show the application using the bands. Come on, Sensei Rivera. All right, he's holding the band for me. And again, I'm not gonna go into too much on this because it's very well explanatory from the other exercise we did, right? So from here, we step across, we did a rotation, right? Pull, pull, elbow dig in, bring the left leg in. As I keep pulling here, I just drop, right? Remember, we're not bringing it in to clip the seatbelt yet. We're just still keeping the hands up, all right? All right, one more time. All right, okay, right here, step, turn, open, dig in the elbow, bring it, and drop. Just like the previous exercise. If you feel the resistance pulling you back and you don't have a good pull, you're gonna be doing this. You don't wanna do that. You gotta keep that momentum up, forward, okay? That's why a lot of my students ask me, what if I drop on the squat and I fall forward? And I'll tell them, that's what I want you to do. I want you to drop it, and if your balance is falling forward, right? If you're losing your balance forward, that's a good thing. As long as you keep your grips, right? You keep your grips, because that's the direction of the throw. You got your feet placed well, right? You drop, and you're falling forward. That's the same idea of dropping and do a roll, all right? All right, now the moment that everybody was expecting, I hope. So I'm gonna utilize Sensei Rivera again. Now it's time to put it all together, completely, all right? Okay. So again, you go your cross grip, lose that grip a little bit, grab the gi, right? Let's walk a little bit this way like that. All right, all the steps. 1, you step across. 2, as you rotate your body, you open, bring the elbow under, up, elbow go under, dig in, and then when you bring your left foot, you're gonna drop, left foot, and drop. We stop here, but then you ask, how are you gonna clip the belt? Easy, from here, my left arm is pulling. All I have to do is clip the belt and get back on a standing position. Then you got your throw. One more time. So you're holding the gi, cross grip, right? Right here. Sleeves. Not a lot of secret. Foot go across. As your body turn, automatic. You bring everything in. Lift. Tuck in your elbow. Remember, seatbelt concept. Bring this foot. Foot, drop. Once you drop, you're gone. There's nobody up there to block him. And then I'm gonna clip the seatbelt. So just bring that hand down to this side here. Right? As you do that, you just stand up. Always keep at least the grip on the sleeves. In judo, if the throw is completed this way, you got a full, you got a deep on, the fight is over. However, if he doesn't fall completely on his back, the fight continues on the ground, right? So then you have a link to the opponent. You have a link to approach. You gotta close the gap between them. If you don't have this, he might be far away. By the time I approach, he's already either in turtle position, right? Or any other position that will block me from trying to do anything. Okay? All right? One more time. So we go cross grip, right? Slip. You put right foot, you turn, open, dug in your elbow, turn. As you turn, you drop. Boom. Clip the seatbelt and stand up. Keep your length. All right? All right, go practice. So the students are going to practice now. I hope I'm doing this. Again, I told you I'm not very good at technology, so I hope everybody's able to see everything and understand. Hope the sound is coming out okay. And you can see some of the students applying the technique. Very good, yeah. Very good, very good. So as we talk, throughout this class, the application with Seo Nage in judo it's amazing. For me, it has been great in a lot of my tournaments, and I had a lot of success throughout my whole life in judo, right? But I also, as I mentioned, I had a lot of success in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments and fights with the Seo Nage. Like I said, the control is very, very strong, and then the application does not allow an opponent to do much until he's actually down on the ground. Okay, and then as they practice this a little bit, I'm gonna show you a transition from Seo Nage to a Jujigatami, okay, that I teach a lot of my students all the time. Okay, again, for judo, if the back's not on the mat, if there's not a complete ippon, okay, we still have a continuation. But in jiu-jitsu, even if he falls on his back, it's not over. The fight still there, right? So you still have to have that continuation. So that this throw and the link, like we talked about, right, the hand of this lead is crucial for that. I'm going to show a variation of this throw that I like to use too sometimes. Even though I prefer to squat under the person like I just showed you, there is a variation that I used to use a lot when I was younger. And I know the rules change a lot, 2 knees, 1 knee. So you got to decide which one you're going to use based on the rules on that year, right? So the way I like to do the Seo Nage too is just with the dropping knees, right? So the application is the same, right? All the way to the squat. You lift, and you come and you squat. But instead of you squat all the way, I squat close to the mat, and then I drop my knees. Okay? There are 2 ways to do it. You can drop it with the 2 knees, or the one that I like the most, I drop with 1 knee, and then I lift. So what I like to do is this. I stop, I come here, and I drop the knee that's right under the leg. Boom. As I bring the arm down, I just lift my hips. And I'm back. Okay? That's just a quick variation. I'm not going to get much into that today, but it's just a quick variation of some of the Seo Nage throws. Okay? And then just to wrap it up, I think my time is getting close to the end. I'm just going to show here the Seo Nage using that transition to the Jujigatami, right? So we're going to work that one, the squat that we did before. Do the same application, open. Remember the seatbelt concept, come and drop. Oh, once you drop here, right, we all going up. From this position, you see that he kind of moved a little bit to the side. I'm going to turn my body and bring my right foot right under, close to his scapula, right here. Boom. With my knee right on his back. Let me turn him a little bit so you can see a little better. My both hands are still there. As I do this, look, my right hand moves from the collar, go right here to the other arm. This other hand come across and grab his other collar. As I do that, my hand is right on his face. I throw the left leg over, boom. Squeeze my knees together. Keep his thumb all the way up here. Squeeze the knee, bring both hands to the wrist, lift my hips, and hit taps, right? All right, let's do one more time. One more time. All right. So again, from here, you do the cross, right? And move a little bit here. Over, bring it, throw. He turns a little bit to the side. I bring my foot around it. Foot around it. Change the hand here. Okay, you can grab your own collar if you want to. You don't have to. If you want to, you're allowed to. Here, the other hand comes and grab his other collar. Push his face with my arm. Throw the leg over. Boom. Squeeze my knees together. That's the secret. Two knees squeeze together. As I slide down, my hands go to the wrist. Keep his thumb up. And he taps. All right? So, okay, so I got to check how much more time do I have? I don't know.
Tiago, I think we're about ready for the Q&A session, if you are.
4:11.
So we're done, right?
Yes.
Is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the techniques like I did. So teaching you guys. We're going to start now with the Q&A session. I'm going to stick around for any questions. And then thank you very much again. Nice. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sensei Tiago. Great job. I love the seatbelt kuzushi concept. If you don't mind, I think I'll steal that from you and teach my own students. Great seatbelt concept.
Thank
you. We do have a few questions for you. Regarding the Seo Nage. Number one, some people would like to see you do Seo Nage at your competition.
Can you please repeat that? You're breaking up a little bit.
Yes, some of our attendees would like to see you do your Seo Nage that you just showed, but full speed, like competition style.
Sounds good. All right,
closest you can to it.
Hey, I have a crash pad here. That's even better. So I can hear can we grab that crash pad here a little bit? So our mats here are very good, but for a lot of you that are not used to, I think I call them bouncy house because they're still soft based on those rice-made tatamis that we used to train back in Brazil. But some people complain, right? And we don't have a spring for it. So I'm gonna use the crash pad here so I can utilize do the technique in full speed, right? And as I said before, I'm left-handed. So I was doing everything right-handed for you guys. So again, I like to move around, move with person. All right, one more time. Left side cross grip, right? Working here, tap, tap, tap. Is it good?
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Yes, and then let's see. Next question is specific to the Seo Nage. When do I lock my arm, before or after dropping my body?
When you lock your arm, you mean to click the belt?
Yes, I think.
So it might be it, right?
Oh,
okay, because we don't lock the arm. We don't lock the arm until.
Okay, the question is,
under.
when the arm into position, before or after dropping my body?
So at a full speed, right?
Sensei, did you get all that?
Yes, I did. Did. Good. So I lock the arm as I'm dropping.
Okay.
As I'm dropping, I just bring all the way. And then as I finish the click, that's when the throw is finished, completed.
Okay, excellent. I have we got a lot of questions for you here. What exercises helped you develop the ability to get so low? What exercises helped you develop the ability to squat so low?
Right. So different than a normal squat, right? That we're thinking about squatting and then carrying the whole weight. So I like to use like a concept like as when you play as a kid, right? How do they say here in the United States? You're skipping, right? Somebody drops and you jump over. Leapfrog. That's what they call here in the US, leapfrog, right? So that's the same idea I use, right? So I'm the person on the ground dropping. So when I drop in front of somebody, I don't drop to have their weight on me. I drop and try to go between the leg. I try to go under. So I drop and I move behind. So my goal is also always never be in much of a contact with a person besides just my hands. So that makes any person, doesn't matter how much they weigh, makes them very, very light. So by the time that I drop and I go in, he lost all the balance and it's pretty much they fall on their own. So that's what I do. So it's not about doing squats and getting strong on the legs or anything like that. It's just being able to go under.
Okay, yeah, very good. And then, okay, we have a more general question for you. Okay, how does I think this will be the last question for today.
Okay.
How does your connection to judo help you during your military service and now?
So how is the why with judo? I'm sorry.
Oh, how does your connection to judo help you? How did it help you during your military service and right now?
Oh no, it's incredible, incredible. I don't think I am what I am in the military, and then in my life if it wasn't because of judo, right? When I joined the military in the United States, I didn't join through any special sports program or anything. I didn't even know about it, right? So I went from like not being able to accomplish anything to just start conquering things over and over. It helped me move up in a career. It helped me move from enlisted to officer, and then it quickly helped me make the military, the armed forces judo team. And again, how many countries I visit just competing and be around other athletes, Olympic athletes, and people from all over. It's just it's hard to explain with a little bit of time how great was the putting those two together, right? How judo helped me in the military, and I think it will still continue helping me, right? Now with this position of the assistant coach, so a little bit more responsibility.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much for your for answering all the questions. Actually, I think now we are going to add in Major Justin Wynn and Staff Sergeant Henry, and I think I think they're going to be added into your Q&A section. So
All
Yep,
right.
go ahead,
Can I
guys.
just say one more thing real quick, Jason? Just
Oh,
say
yes.
thank you to everybody here, all the students that came today and help out the class. Okay, they made everything a lot smoother for me. So just want to say thank you to all of them to be part of it. And then Malt.
Everybody.
Okay, yep, thank you very much.
So,
And so Major Wynn and Staff Sergeant Henry, do you have something to add?
yeah, so hopefully everybody can see me. My name is Major Wynn. I'm also a member of NANCA, and I'm going to introduce Sergeant Henry here in just a second. One thing that I want to highlight for everybody is, because it might not be known, is that the military has some really great opportunities for judo players to be able to go out and start their career as well as continue, pursuing their Olympic dreams if that's what your goals are. And I'm going to use Angelica, not that she's doing this, but she could if she wanted to, since she's up next. So if Angelica, as an Olympic qualifying athlete for the sport of judo, wanted to join the military, she could work through her state's National Guard, through the active duty, or even the Army Reserves to become a WCAP world-class athlete program member. And so then she would just get paid to do nothing other than the sport of judo. And so as long as she continues to stay ranked and stay competitive at the IJF level, she's continuing to qualify for the Olympics every 4 years. She basically renews that contract to stay on an active status, because if you're in the National Guard or Reserve, you'll still go into what's called an active status, get a nice full-time paycheck. All those benefits that you saw in the advertisement that we played at the break, those are all yours. You still get access to school, GI Bill, etc. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sergeant Henry. He's our full-time recruiter, and he can kind of lay out some of those benefits as well as the process. Sergeant Henry, take it away.
Thank you, Major Wayne. Thank you, sir. So just to start off, there's this, I guess, the idea that once you join the Army, all of your dreams just all of a sudden, go out the window. But as you can see, the opportunity for athletes, there is a very great opportunity for you to continue to excel, especially as an Olympian. Just to get straight to the point, you can actually go to SoCal, text SoCal to 462-769 to just reach out to a local recruiter there. The benefits are excellent. They're wonderful, especially with the Army Reserve. You are allowed to still serve. At the same time, you can continue to be that athlete that you want to be, whether it is that you want to be in. It offers so many different opportunities for you to continue to go to school and continue to pursue your desired goal or your dreams that you are, you're pursuing in life overall. Generally, like for the Army Reserve, full-time, part-time, or National Guard, the age is 17 to 35. Early as 16, if it's something that your parents are looking into for you, you can join as early as that and still be at that competitive level, and still pursue like your goals and your dreams, your ideas, and still have that good foundation within like judo or whatever sport you desire, whatever your passion is in. I'm not sure if anyone's asking any questions now. I don't see the.
Yeah, so if someone asks a question, our panel, our host, Jason, will bring it up. Tiago,
Okay.
do you want to speak specifically to some of the events that the U.S. Armed Forces Judo Team has available?
Yes. So far, what we have is the Armed Forces confirmed the World Championship, the CISM as a World Championship. We have that every year, and it's going to be in Paris, France. It was supposed to be this December, but because of the pandemic, it got canceled. But again, it got confirmed for next year. We don't have a date of the event yet, but once we find out, Major Jones and I will spread the word, and we'll let you know, Justin, and everybody else, as well as the USA Judo and then the other judo associations here in US, and we're gonna start contacting the guy, and hopefully we'll be able to have some other tournaments that are not only military related, that our military athletes will be able to attend, so then they can rank well to be able to qualify for those world championships. That's it so far.
So we have a question here. Can you elaborate on the educational benefits of the Army in addition to judo? So if I'm understanding the question correctly, the educational benefits in the Army are second to none. We have about 3 different ways that you can go about getting a college degree. I personally have probably used all 3 of them. So I did a green to gold scholarship. I joined the Army, enlisted, didn't know about judo even at that point in my life. And I ended up being picked up for what's called a green to gold scholarship. So you can do ROTC, you can do West Point. Most of those organizations, you will still have access to judo. But then once you get in, whether you are an officer or whether you're enlisted, you have access to tuition assistance. So while you're serving, you can use tuition assistance to pursue your education. And then you also have the GI Bill. And then the Army's even taken it a step further. So they've realized that there are some things that people want for professional certifications. So you can use another system called credentialing assistance, and you can use that money to go out and get professional certification. So if you're interested in some kind of a welding certification, or if you're interested in business, you can pursue any kind of professional certifications that are out there, really. I hope that answers the question. And if you have other questions, feel free to send them to us in the chat, but I want to make sure we're respectful of our time. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jason for, I guess, the break and into the next one. Jason?
Thank you, Jason.
Okay, sorry for the glitch. Okay, thank you very much, guys. We really appreciate your input. And yeah, I'm sure we'll have some more questions come up on the chat. Okay, everybody, go ahead and grab some water, and please keep your blood moving while we have to take this break. We'll be right back.